Today, we will talk about Bank of America CEO and the potential of a soft landing. Brian Moynihan, the Chief Executive Officer of Bank of America, recently participated in a lengthy conversation in which he offered nuanced insights on the complex factors that surround the possibility of a soft landing within the context of the economic landscape. The complexities of monetary policy, the impact of global economic movements, and the multifarious role played by technological improvements were all included in his perspectives, which encompassed a broad spectrum of issues that exert influence on this outlook. Before we move further, like this video and subscribe to get the newest updates from us. Let's dive into it. Moynihan has served as a member of the corporation for the past 14 years as both a trustee and a member of the Board of Fellows, also serving on the President's Leadership Council. He also sits on the Board of Governors of the Watson Institute for International and Public Affairs. He was officially elected at the corporation's February meeting. Members of the Governance and Nominating Committee, a subcommittee of the corporation, were tasked with appointing a new chancellor after Menkoff reached the end of his 9-year term as an officer of the corporation. Menkoff's term will officially conclude at the end of this academic year after 21 total years of corporation service. I have had the enormous privilege of working with the trustees and fellows and President Paxson through some of the most exhilarating and consequential times in Brown history, Menkoff wrote in the announcement. Doing so has been the honor and privilege of a lifetime, but I also recognize that a healthy governing board must renew and refresh itself on a regular basis. According to the announcement, the committee chose Moynihan in part due to his deep love for and commitment to Brown. At Brown, Moynihan was a history concentrator and a member of the Rugby team. Throughout his years of dedicated service, Brian Moynihan has been an active and engaged member, and there is widespread appreciation and respect for his insight, global leadership and management experience, values, and wisdom, Menkoff wrote. Moynihan has also chaired various other financial organizations, such as the World Economic Forum's International Business Council, and participates with local leaders in the Massachusetts Competitive Partnership and the Partnership for Rhode Island. It is an honor to serve Brown, the fellows and trustees, and especially the dedicated faculty, students, staff, and alumni, Moynihan said in a press release. I look forward to working with President Paxson and her team as we continue to elevate our great university. A deep dive into the delicate equilibrium that is required for attaining a soft landing was at the heart of Moynihan's analysis. A soft landing is a scenario in which economic growth slows down without spiraling into a full-fledged recession. The complexity of this problem was brought to his attention, and he emphasized the critical role that strategic decision-making plays in the decision-making process of enterprises, financial institutions, and policymakers alike. One of the most important topics that was discussed was the part that monetary policy plays in determining the course that the economy will take. During his speech, Moynihan acknowledged the difficulties that central banks have when trying to fine-tune their policies in order to stimulate economic growth without causing inflationary pressures. The chief executive officer emphasized the importance of taking a steady and calibrated approach, and he warned against making sudden policy moves that could have unforeseen implications for the economic environment as a whole. During the process of dissecting the global economic landscape, Moynihan engaged in an investigation of the linked nature of economies, as well as the impact that geopolitical events have on the economy. He underlined that in order to achieve a smooth landing in one place, it is necessary to have a comprehensive awareness of the external influences that are at play. This requires a planned and coordinated reaction from the international community in order to successfully manage uncertainties and limit risks. The discussion broadened to encompass the revolutionary impact that technical improvements have had on the economic fabric of the world. Moynihan provided an explanation of how innovation and digitization have become fundamental to organizations, having an impact not only on productivity and efficiency, but also on the path that economic growth would take in the long run. Within the context of a changing global economic landscape, the chief executive officer emphasized the importance of adopting flexible strategies that make it possible for firms to capitalize on the power of technology advancement and maintain their competitive edge. Moynihan's investigation into the function that financial institutions play in bolstering economic stability was something that was an essential part of the conversation. He placed a strong emphasis on the significance of responsible lending practices and comprehensive risk management systems in order to prevent the occurrence of financial catastrophes. Within the banking industry, the chief executive officer argued for a proactive approach in which banks actively contribute to the promotion of economic growth while simultaneously maintaining the robustness of the financial system. In addition, the conversation explored the intricacies of the potential influence that demographic shifts could have on the economic landscape. As a result of Moynihan's engagement with the issues and opportunities that arise from aging populations, he advocated for policies that are adaptable and inventive solutions that respond to changing demographic trends. In addition to this, he elaborated on the significant responsibility that education and workforce development play in preparing for the economic problems that are brought about by shifting demographic landscapes. Moynihan addressed the concerns that have been raised over inflation and offered deep insights into the variables that are contributing to the current inflationary pressures. A comprehensive investigation into the intricacies of supply chain interruptions, increased demand dynamics, and other external variables that have cumulatively contributed to the increase in prices was conducted by the chief executive officer. Moynihan showed confidence in the ability of central banks and policymakers to manage these intricacies and maintain a semblance of stability in terms of prices, despite the fact that he acknowledged the difficulties that exist. Throughout the entirety of the extensive discussion, Moynihan repeatedly emphasized how important it is for everyone to work together to find a solution. In his opinion, in order to effectively handle the issues that the economy is facing, governments, central banks, enterprises, and communities all need to work together in a cooperative manner. According to Moynihan, this collaborative approach is essential for navigating the complexities of the current economic landscape and charting a route toward a balanced and sustainable economic future. Moynihan stressed the importance of this strategy. Moynihan also said that 30 individuals who are going through the stress test have had their portfolios constantly reviewed in terms of underwriting criteria. They have also been thrown against a 40 to 50% decrease in the prices of commercial real estate, and they have been asked how they might charge off their portfolios. As for the most recent data, I believe that we are approximately 9% through 9 quarters. Consequently, consider the situation in which there is an immediate reduction of 50% in pricing and there is no way to go around it. The banks have been subject to a reasonable amount of regulation with regard to this matter. It does not imply that there will be no work involved. It does not imply that things will not turn out well. Thus, this does not imply that there will not be charge-offs. In the previous year, we took charge-offs. On the other hand, the system is significantly further ahead of the challenges than it was in the late 1980s and 1990s, when we saw the most recent significant crisis in the commercial real estate market. According to the San Francisco Chronicle, the shareholder meeting of the bank that took place in Charlotte, North Carolina, has protests swirled inside and outside in the year 2012. Shareholders voiced their dissatisfaction with the bank's mortgage servicing activities, as well as with the decline in share prices and other issues. Participants in the demonstration gathered outside the building, which they were unable to enter due to the presence of police and metal barricades. Moynihan made an effort to comfort the audience by saying, "You can call us, and we will figure it out." This was in reaction to the allegations that were leveled against the bank about its mortgage servicing operations.